NHS bosses sending cars instead of ambulances in bid to fiddle 999 figures. Sick birds needing an ambulance are being forced to wait hours, with emergency operators accused of sending cars instead to fiddle targets. It comes as the NHS is expected to give 999 crews 3 extra minutes to respond to calls to help tackle delays. The cars can't carry patients but can help with response time figures. A whistleblower claims East of England Ambulance Trust are intentionally sending rapid response vehicles to 999 calls, even though they cannot transfer the patient. It means many are then left waiting hours for an ambulance to reach them. Critics warn the stop-the-clock policy is putting patient safety at risk. The former Health Minister Norman Lamb told the Health Service Journal said the practice was perverse in the extreme. The revelation comes as NHS bosses are expected to quadruple the time ambulances have to respond to calls. Health Service rules state 75% of 999 requests classed as life-threatening should receive help within 8 minutes. Norman Lamb says sending cars instead of ambulances is perverse. The clock starts ticking 60 seconds after the call is received, but the target has not been met for more than 2 years. In a pilot scheme carried out across 3 trusts, paramedics were only dispatched immediately if a case was life or death. Otherwise, they were given 3 extra minutes to ask more questions. Early evidence suggests it prevented needless call-outs and officials are considering adopting the practice nationwide. It will also hopefully put an end to ambulance bosses focusing on waiting targets ahead of patients. A East of England ambulance paramedic, speaking anonymously to the HSJ, said, "The trust has become so fixated with hitting the target by sending out RRVs to stop the clock. Care, patient safety and dignity are really being badly compromised. Everyone has horror stories. It's as bad as I can ever remember." The paramedic said elderly, frail patients were sometimes left lying on the ground waiting up to 2 or 3 hours for an ambulance to turn up. They added, often they're in pain, maybe with a broken hip. When it's in the winter, it's often in cold, frosty conditions. Figures, obtained by Unison, show a rise in the proportion of RRVs being sent to calls by the East of England Ambulance Trust, from 29% in March last year to 36% a year on. A trust spokesman said, "The trust does not put targets before safety, rather it prioritizes its response to the sickest patients." In addition, the trust has been reducing the rapid response vehicle hours it has been deploying since December 2016. The trust continually monitors patient safety, responses to patients and any delays in getting patients to hospital. These form the basis of discussions around investing in additional ambulance capacity, something which is regularly discussed at board meetings.